What is up, Sopranos fans? Kino here. I'm back with another Soprano log, and today we're looking at the 10th episode of the third season, To Save Us All from Satan's Power, which is a line from the Christmas song, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, which is fitting because this is the Christmas episode. So let's jump into things. So Tony is down by the shore where he has a flashback about Pussy. He remembers a time when they met down there to discuss the conflict between Jacky April Sr. and Uncle Jr. So when the last boss of the family went away, there was a conflict between who was going to take over, Jacky or Jr. Jr. was not happy about having to take orders from, someone younger than him, and funny enough, that ended up happening again with Tony. But Pussy goes down there to Boca to mediate the conflict and get Jr. to agree to come to a sit-down, but he ends up missing that sit-down the day of, which is very suspicious. They also remember another time where he was, acting really suspicious around Christmas when he was dressed as Santa Claus, asking weird questions. And this leads them to think that Pussy was actually flipped in the year 1995. We've been told that Pussy was flipped in the year 1998, basically during the run of the first season. His handler, Skip Lipari, mentions this, and there's a couple other lines as well as a deleted scene, but that's not canon, so we can't take that as consideration. But the guys are thinking he might have got flipped in 95, and whether or not this is true, I don't think really matters so much as it is them, being paranoid and just thinking about, how much did they really give him and being worried about that right now. And again, Tony is really conflicted about how he feels about everything because, Pussy was a rat, but he loved the man. And he is feeling a lot of remorse and guilt for, having him killed. Meanwhile, though, Tony is stressed out about all the things he has to do for the holiday. He has to get gifts for everyone. They have to take stuff to Janice's house because they're going to have Christmas dinner there. And while he's there, he sees that Janice is really in pain from her beating by the guys that Svetlana sent to get her leg back. So he decides to do something nice for her for once and get revenge on the guy that hurt her. He goes to see his money launderer, a man named Slava. He's the head of the Russian mafia in Jersey. And while he's there, he asks for information about this guy and where to find him. This is also the first time we see Valeri, who is going to be really important in an episode coming up here. But, it's a pretty obscure episode that most people don't even remember, so not really any point talking about it right now. But Tony and Furio go and find this guy. They lure him away in the cab, and they end up beating him and leaving him in a store window. So that was his revenge for Janice. And when Janice sees this on the news, she's really touched that Tony would do this for her. So the guys are throwing a Christmas party for the neighborhood at Satriali's. They have this tradition where they have one of them dresses up like Santa Claus and gives gifts to all the children. Pussy was the one who usually did this, but now that he's dead, they need to find someone else to play him. They end up getting Bobby Baccalieri to do it, although he is incredibly shy and doesn't want to do it. And during the event, he ends up being really rude, and you can tell he's just not used to being in the public spotlight like this. So he's not a really good Santa Claus. But he gets into an argument with this little kid who is trying to get a second present, and it escalates, and the kid ends up saying, fuck you, Santa, to him. And the whole room just erupts into this classic Italian, oh! Really, really funny scene. They tell the kid to go back and apologize, which he does. And Bobby gives him another present. Again, just rewarding kids for terrible behavior. But legitimately one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in this show. Later, Tony and the gang go to another strip club to check out the competition. While he's there, he sees Jacky Jr. getting a lap dance from a stripper. Now, Tony's obviously really pissed off because he's dating his daughter. He takes him into the bathroom and just starts punching him. He ends up finding a gun that Jacky is carrying and tells him that, this is it. He reached rock bottom. He bottomed out. And he has basically ruined himself in Tony's eyes. Tony doesn't trust this kid anymore. The next day, the Sopranos are celebrating Christmas at their house, exchanging presents. Jacky Jr. actually comes over with presents for the family. And I'll give him credit for this. It's it's a ballsy move. He didn't try to hide from Tony. He just went over there and talked to him directly. So I actually give him respect points for that. But Tony tells him that he hasn't decided yet what to do with him. He's still mulling things over, and he still wants to maintain his relationship with Meadow. He gives her a really nice present. Later, Meadow gives her dad a present, which he was a little surprised about since they've been fighting this whole year. But she gives him a big mouth Billy Bass, which I told you that was going to come back again. This, of course, is the thing that reminds him of Pussy, his dream with him as the talking fish. And Tony has to act like he likes it because he doesn't want anyone to know about this. But obviously the gift, really distresses him when he was already having all these feelings about Pussy already. So really funny ending. Great Christmas episode. I wish it was closer to the holidays when I reviewed this, but even still, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next Soprano log coming soon.